Imagine starting a business where the product doesn't need to be produced, transported, or stored, and yet you can sell it for hundreds of dollars. We're not talking about software, nor an invisible NFT. I'm talking about air. Yes, air, but not just any air. Premium air. Breathable, refined, positioned as a symbol of status, health, and exclusivity. Ridiculous? Maybe, but hear me out before you laugh. If water bottles can fetch $20 at a festival, if ripped clothes sell for $1,000, and if celebrities embody a lifestyle with smells and sounds, why isn't air, this invisible and ubiquitous resource, still a real business? This is where the elegant perversity of modern capitalism comes in. It doesn't monetize needs, it transforms the banal into a fetish. And premium air is the last unexplored territory of this collective delirium. Because what seemed like a joke is actually a mirror that reflects the emptiness we try to fill with symbols. Breathing has become a status symbol, and if you think that's sickening, maybe you're just behind the times. Because if there's a market where scarcity can be invented, desire can be cultivated, and profit margins surpass any industrial logic, that market is the same one where scentless perfumes are sold. Courses without content, and now, meaningless air. Do you think you're selling oxygen? Wrong. The product is narrative. It's what Pierre Bourdieu called symbolic capital, that which has no intrinsic value but carries status, distinction, and social hierarchy. When someone buys a bottle of air for $300, they're not buying a substance, they're acquiring a symbol that says, I can. It's the same logic as someone who wears a sweatshirt for $3,000, or posts a photo at a restaurant where the bill costs twice as much as the flavor. You don't pay for what it is, you pay for what it represents. And that, my friend, is the hidden code of branding, turning any object, even the most ridiculously free, into social proof of value. Premium air begins as art, but scales as a business. Bottled in recycled glass, extracted from some esoteric altitude with mystical storytelling, harvested at sunrise by Buddhist monks in silence since 1997. This product isn't breathable. It's breathed with intention. The sensory experience is pure theater. But it's a theater in which the consumer wants to participate. Because the logic here isn't to deliver utility, it's to offer belonging, performative transcendence. A way to show the world that you don't breathe the same air as everyone else. You breathe concept, curation, exclusivity. And if all this seems like an exaggeration, remember, no one buys what they need. People buy what confirms who they think they are, or worse, who they desperately want to appear to be. And in this, the air is just the new gilded mirror. The public? They're not on the street corner waiting for a promotion. They're on some Los Angeles rooftop, trying to find peace between a glass of kombucha and an existential panic attack. Premium air isn't for those who jog in the park. It's for those who run from themselves and have to pay dearly for symbolic relief. The product is just a channel. What's being sold is an elite anxiety cure, an aura of aesthetic lightness, and the narcissistic pleasure of consuming something the world doesn't yet understand. Freud would explain this obsession as the unconscious manifestation of the repressed desire for control. The illusion that if you control what you breathe, you also control your existence. Bourdieu, however, would say it's just another game of distinction. Bottled air serves as a social marker, a subtle, I am different that only the initiated understand. But it is Baudrillard who delivers the final blow. This is all hyper-real. It doesn't matter if the air is real, pure, polluted, or a placebo. What matters is that it symbolizes an unattainable state of purity that can be purchased. And in this theater of distinction, air's function is clear, to be the most desired nothingness in the world. A delirium inhaled with pride, a breath of status, a comfortable lie that costs enough to seem true. And how does this turn into real money? Simple. You understand that you're not selling a product, but a staged experience of value. First, the cost. Each unit of premium air can cost around $15, and that includes the Scandinavian-designed glass bottle, the minimalist box made of recycled paper, a wax seal with a pseudo-mystical symbol, and of course, a QR code that links to a soundtrack of white noise from Mountain Wind. We're not selling wind, we're selling ritual. Gross margin? Over 90%. A final price? $300 per unit. But with special promotions, subscribe to 30 breaths per month and achieve your inner peace with recurring. Distribution begins online, but the spectacle gains momentum when it moves to the physical store. Imagine the world's first air boutique. A store with constant mist, soft lighting, and attendants dressed in white lab coats. Sensors indicate the purity of the surrounding air. There are meditation booths where you can take your first guided inhalation. All of this filmed and edited to become a transcendental unboxing on social media. And if you want to go further, we have limited editions. Northern Lights Edition, air captured during the dance of lights in the Arctic sky, or Breath of Awakening, a unique batch extracted on the first day of the year in Kyoto. The more absurd the origin, the greater the desire. This is the genius part. The more performative, the more sellable. The more theatrical, the more desirable. And while the world tries to understand why anyone would buy this, you'll already be scaling the business with micro-influencers breathing with their eyes closed and ASMR videos of bottles being slowly opened. Air isn't sold. It's staged. And when the stage is well set, even nothing is golden. Now you might be thinking, but is this legal? And I answer with a smile and a stamp of tax compliance. Absolutely. Because there isn't a single law prohibiting the sale of wind. As long as you don't claim miracle cures or false medical benefits, selling bottled air is as legal as selling a stone that balances your chakras or a self-knowledge course with a holographic certificate. What is immoral in the eyes of common sense, the market calls symbolic innovation. In fact, the subtlety lies in embracing uselessness with class. On the label, an honest and mocking disclaimer: this product is 100% useless unless you believe. And therein lies the genius. Irony protects you legally, and it also makes headlines, because when the outrage comes, and it will, you've already paved the way for every criticism to become spontaneous publicity. The modern market doesn't punish those who exaggerate, it punishes those who underdeliver. The only thing illegal these days is being predictable. And if everything goes wrong, even better. Because while ethical people debate on Twitter, the cash registers close, inventory rotates, and the hype consolidates. In capitalism, there are no scams, there's just bad storytelling. And when it comes time to sell this to the world, forget traditional advertising. Premium air isn't sold, it's revealed as a luxury sensory cult. The launch is presented as a manifesto, with a hypnotic video showing bottles levitating above mists, while a voice whispers words like purity, transcendence, and distinction. Only 1,000 units in the first batch. Each buyer receives a certificate of visionary breathing with a serial number. Scarcity as oratory, exclusivity as bait, and the real marketing? It comes from hate. An influencer opens the bottle live and says he felt instant peace. Another records an ASMR video of himself breathing deeply and giving thanks for the spiritual clarity. The audience freaks out. Incendiary comments pour in by the thousands. Outrageous videos are posted by people who've never seen the product. And that's when you start winning. Because in the attention market, being hated with style is the fastest way to become a reference. TikTok loves choreographed absurdity. Instagram loves minimalist aesthetics with an air of spirituality. And YouTube thrives on thumbnail videos where someone screams, "Is this a scam?" Every reaction is a free billboard. Every attack, a medal. And if someone visits the physical boutique, they'll find a setting that looks like a cross between a Zen laboratory and an art gallery. Because Gen Z doesn't buy products. They buy immersive narratives. And if the bottle is beautiful, the unboxing becomes a trend, and the concept is insanely shareable. You're not selling air. You're selling experience in a gaseous state. Ultimately, selling air isn't a scam. It's a blatant metaphor for what the market has always been. A machine for transforming meaning into money. When you pay for a pair of $5,000 sneakers, you're not buying fabric and rubber. You're buying the illusion of being admired. Banks sell promises, churches sell hope, startups sell hypothetical futures. And all these operations are legitimized because they have a good story and a good logo. Did you think selling wind was crazy? Crazy is continuing to believe that the market revolves around logic. Value is an invention, desire is rehearsed, and luxury is just a well-packaged illusion. Because at the end of the day, every greasy wallet starts with a sleazy idea. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. See you soon.